Right, what is a soul fracture and why is it important to address in your healing journey? So first of all, it is a type of soul injury, and it is important to address because any level of soul injury creates an energetic blockage in your system, and that can contribute to symptoms. And a soul fracture is a really common type of soul injury type that I see in the angelic soul alignment healing sessions I do for my clients, and also in the shadow work sessions I teach my clients how to do this energetic type of work on themselves. So essentially, a soul fracture is a soul injury that was so great that you were not able to process at the time that it happened, which is all soul injuries are like that. But it's so great that a part of your soul breaks off and it separates from your larger soul. And that part of the soul that breaks off is kind of stuck in time and space. So if it was happened at 7 years of age, it's gonna, to me, it looks like you at 7 years of age. And it can get stuck in a memory and a timeline. It can move into other dimensions. It can also get attached to other people because usually that part of you has an unmet need. That's why you had that soul injury. So it might attach to other people trying to resolve that timeline. It's important to address these. In the next reel, I'm going to give you an example of one. Are medical medium soul healing meditations enough to heal soul fractures? The answer is yes and no. It depends. So yes, it can heal soul fractures that are easily able to heal without a lot of higher consciousness work. But some soul fracturing is really complex and will require a higher level of awareness and consciousness to be able to heal them. So soul fractures can get caught in other dimensions and other timelines. They can get caught by other dark beings in other dimensions and timelines. They can also attach to other people. So in those instances, often it takes a higher level of work to address them and heal them. And it's important to address it because the more of your soul fractures that you heal, the more you increase your life force, the better you're going to feel because these timelines or these soul fractures are going to continuously affect you until they're healed. Now, I do this in the angelic soul alignment healing session where we heal soul fracturing from this lifetime and other lifetimes, but you can also learn to do this in the shadow work sessions I teach, and if you want to go deeper into it, you can do a hypnosis regression with me to learn how to do this for other lifetimes and other timelines that are multidimensional. Right, here's a great example of how healing a soul fracture can shift and change your healing trajectory. This client came to me after 8 years on medical medium protocols, still had significant symptoms, and had not done very much soul level healing work, and this pointed to the need to address that. And one of the major symptoms she was complaining about was insomnia after 8 years on MM. So in this session, we cleared a lot of things for her, but one of the significant things that came up was when she was 4 years old, she'd had a major soul injury. And it was so major that her soul had fractured out and created a version of her that was stuck in fear in that timeline. And this part of her soul, like that was a fracture, started wandering around her bedroom and ended up going into this dark portal that was already open in her bedroom. Okay, there was a lot of darkness around this person when she was growing up. And when she went into that portal, she was met by a dark witch who captured her soul and that soul fracture and placed her in a cage and put dark magic spell on her to keep her locked into this fear pattern and to continuously kind of draw her life force energy out. So when we healed this soul fracture, we also healed any parts of her that were afraid of the darkness, like this was coming up at night for her. And so what happened as a result is her insomnia actually healed. Her dead grandfather's soul fracture was still attached to her and still causing her trauma. Yes, that's right, he was dead. When he was living, he was her abuser, but a soul fracture attached to her because he was a negative polarized being and was still causing her trauma in the present time. And she was unaware. This is an ancestral pattern that needs to be addressed. The reason I'm sharing this, it's really, really important if you've had an abusive type relationship with an elder in your family or a sibling, it's important to heal all the traumas because when you have a trauma, it's very easy for a negative entity to attach. And in this instance, the negative entity becomes a soul fracture. Now, I've seen other clients who've had this pattern and it's caused constant flaring in their body, extreme flaring, 6, 7, 8 years into healing with medical medium protocols, because these negative soul fractures are continuously looping the trauma patterns and also opening you up to more negative entity attachments. The way that you heal this is you can work with me in the angelic soul alignment healing sessions where I can assist you, but it will also require you to heal the traumatic relationship, the traumas that it caused. And sometimes you will be required to do shadow work yourself to find and release these soul fractures, sending them back to source for them to continue on their journeys.